Good morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for this Wednesday, November 22nd, the day before Thanksgiving. And looking at precipitation over the past week, you can see quite a bit across the northern half of the geographic area, but again, as has been the case, much drier to negligible precipitation across the south. Some of these brighter yellows through here are anywhere from between an inch and a half to 2.5 inches of melted precipitation. And you can see in terms of percent of normal, a lot of these wetter areas have been anywhere from 150 to 400% of normal precipitation, but closer to less than 50% to near 0% across the south. New snowfall in the past 24 hours. The rich keep getting richer here across the mountains of central Idaho. Anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snowfall, as well as for parts of western Wyoming, and just lighter isolated amounts further south. And you can see where the snowpack is building up, these shades of darker purple here already. About 40 to 50 inches of snowpack, locally higher amounts, 50 to 75 inches across the Tetons. So up north is pretty significant, much less across the mountains of Utah and the Wasatch, a few areas 1 to 2 feet, otherwise just a few inches as you head further south. Now the satellite imagery does show strong high pressure now building in from Baja, dominating the weather across the southern 2/3 of the geographic area, pushing the storm track across the Pacific Northwest and again into Idaho and into Wyoming, into the Pacific Northwest in response to this deep low pressure off the Pacific Northwest. So for this afternoon, you see the high pressure in place, the drier air mass and these tannish shades through here, and the moisture pushing up over the top of the ridge, maybe skirting some of the mountains of up in Idaho. And with high pressure in place, dispersion overall pretty poor, again by the ventilation index. Light transport winds here on the left, and pretty poor mixing heights in most areas, except a little bit better across southern areas later this afternoon. Now for Thursday, we do notice that the high gets suppressed a bit to the south as a frontal system pushes through the Pacific Northwest into Idaho, another front trailing through across central Nevada and northern Utah. We do notice that transport winds, or actually ventilation dispersion, improves across northern Nevada, and in parts of Utah stays poor to the south. Transport winds on the increase across our northern area, especially across Nevada, fairly light as you head further east and south. Mixing heights, where you see the purplish shades through here, are fairly low, just a few hundred feet above the ground. The greener and yellow shades indicate better overall vertical mixing. And then on Friday, again, storm system, trough low pressure gets going off the Pacific coast. Moisture plows into California, into west central Nevada, and also into parts of central western Idaho. High gets pushed down. Dispersion starts to increase a little bit more in the way of white areas through here. Not as much purple or red across the area. Even though transport winds are fairly light across southern areas, the overall vertical mixing starts to pick up. We see these areas in green and yellow. They're at least 2,000 to 3,000 feet above ground level. And the Utah Clearing Index for the next couple of days, quite poor today, Thanksgiving Day, but does improve, especially across the higher terrain as we go into Friday in these areas of orange and red. Precipitation over the next 3 days, we do notice that most of it, about a ½ inch to an inch, will be in the mountains of Idaho, and that could be another several inches of snowfall, though snow levels will be going up in those areas, otherwise dry. And then further down the road, strong storm system, but again, most of the moisture being pushed to our north into parts of central Idaho. Notice how the ventilation index, also known as the dispersion, increases. This white area indicates very good overall dispersion this weekend. Same thing on Sunday as the storm system deepens here across Oregon. Moisture now affecting the northern third of Nevada into all of Idaho and into western Wyoming. There'll be valley rains and mountain snows, and the system very quickly pushes off to the east on Monday. Very good overall dispersion on Monday. And then on Tuesday, however, high pressure builds back in strongly across the region, and dispersion starts to decrease. Those areas in white have been replaced by areas in yellow and red. Here's the precipitation, days 4 and 5, so basically Saturday through Monday. Again, to the north is where you can see 1.3 inches of melted precip up near McCall. That could be another 13 inches of snow. So again, snowpack deepens up to the north. And the 8 to 14 day outlook, near normal temperatures across the northern half of our geographic area, but still warmer than normal to the south. overall drier than normal. Have a great Thanksgiving. There'll be no smoke briefing this Friday. The next smoke briefing will be this coming Monday. Have a great day.